branding. It's big, it's huge, it means a lot. Previous generations before the boomers, branding was okay, having a logo was okay, it wasn't that big of a deal. Everybody had this, everybody had this. Now people seek out a label, and the label means something. I'm doing this, I'm drinking this, I'm watching this in the process. And those things mean things to people in a different way than they did before. You sit down there, and sometimes what's in a name, you develop a product, you got to think about what you're going to call it. What you call it means something. Here's a couple. Lululemon wanted a name that couldn't be replicated in foreign markets. Sometimes your name may mean something totally different in a different market by the time you're all done. Okay, Oreos, it looks like a circle and an O. By the way, Oreos is one of the oldest cookies out there and the most popular and one of the most tasty. The name game. Okay, here's a couple things. Jeff Bezos wanted a name that would be near the top of the alphabetical list. It wasn't his first choice. They changed the name from the original name of their bookstore to Amazon. They wanted something big and move it up towards the top of the alphabet. Spotify. Spotify by itself, you hear that, what does that mean? We all associate with music, but spot and identify, they mash them together, kind of like sometimes the music they play in the process. Pepsi, it came from really something about indigestion to show the drink could aid in indigestion. And by the way, it actually does what we take the fizz out of it. WD-40 really dealt with the fact that the first 39 tenths were bust and the 40th did really good. So all of them mean different things. And sometimes there's a nice story behind that was reflected on their web pages that kind of adds a little bit of the folksy spirit to the overall company image. How to pick a name, ensure it's what your customers will actually call the product, make sure it's easy to remember, not necessarily clever, short and sweet, test out your ideas, and use the name as much as possible. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it as you go through. Branding, just so you know, there's different kinds of brands. You have the manufacturer's brand, and that's the label they put on there when they distribute the products nationally. Sometimes you'll have the dealer, or called private label brands as well. And that's where a store, let's say in this case, Trader Joe's yogurt, they go through and they hire a company to slap their name on it. And you know, Trader Joe's didn't make the brand, but they're sitting down using a third party to make the yogurt inside the container, and their label goes on it. And by the way, if they don't like the quality, if they don't like the pricing of the company making yogurt, out they go and they bring somebody else in, and you may not even know the difference between the two of them. So private label brand, you'll have Trader Joe's has a whole series of them. Costco has their own version called Kirtland in the process. There's different companies. The vast bulk of all your retail stores will have some what we call private label or dealer brands as it comes through. Generic goods sometimes are non-brand products that sell at a big discount. A lot of times prescriptions come that way too. A generic prescription can cost a third or a tenth of what it costs for a brand name prescription. And then of course, there's always knockoff brands. Hey, I got this Rolex over here, except it's ROLLEXX in the process. It's not quite spelled exactly the same because the content sure isn't the same as you come through, but they're illegal copies. If you want to, just go visit the downtown fashion district over in LA, and you'll find something along that line within a matter of a couple hours, no problem. Okay, so there's a huge amount of brand loyalty. There are people that start out in their teen years, always, I wear this kind of clothing. And then as they get older, they keep on buying it and buying it. And then they buy it for their kids. If you catch somebody in that ripe age of 15 to 21, and they keep on loving your product, you may have them the rest of your life and have a constant recurring buyer all the way into their old age in the process. There's a lot of brand loyalty that we have. Some people sit down and have brand loyalty. Prisma Guitars, they have some brand loyalty, not because of the fact that Prisma is something special, but Prisma is something special because they sat down and they make the body of the guitar out of old skateboards. They melt them down and create beautiful, sustainable instruments. And people make a statement by having something that really comes from something that was recycled and makes as much beautiful sound as a guitar that had a regular colorful body instead of something like this. Here's a couple of valuable brands. You can see when we talk about Apple, 241 billion. And yes, not all of it is based upon the brand, but part of that money, when you say Apple, everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. Google, Microsoft, all these over here. You'll see Louis Vuitton made its very first debut in the top 10 in 2019. Disney actually wasn't up there, would be in and out in the top 10, and now it finally has a solid foothold in the top 10 in the world. The valuation is enormous for these valuable brands as they come through. You'll have different origins of the symbols. We all look at the brand, we kind of almost know exactly what it is without reading the words behind it as you go through. On branding, here's the 6 rules for branding. Keep it simple, don't just improve, reinvent your sector with it, embrace big ideas, okay? Give customers a reason to seek out your company in the process. And the brand awareness is a big thing, and the brand loyalty, once you have it, it really helps you sustain the product long term. A lot of times, there's different things about it. Sometimes you link the brand to other favorable images. A lot of community relations help a lot. In Southern California, we have the helpful Honda people. Well, frankly, their advertising is only mediocre, except we like the advertising that they have, because the advertising relates the helpful Honda people to helping people in our community, and that's something that we as Californians value. It's a big deal. But I would suspect it's not just limited to California. I would suspect this across the entire nation, maybe the entire world. Corp companies that assist the community, we like that brand association with it. A brand manager, a lot of times this person is a big deal as to being in charge of the brand. If you ever work in a large retail distributor, you may have somebody that is designated a brand manager for this product over here as you go through. So branding is a big deal. Different kinds of brands, manufacturer, dealer, generic, and knockoff. But above all, you want to sit down, if you're the seller, have brand loyalty. If you're the customer, you may sit down and just only focus in on that. Typically, in the average grocery store, you'll come across 31 to 39 different brands of toothpaste. I'm not talking about different variations, same brand, different brands. But you don't even know that because you always go in, I want that brand. You don't look at the other 38 brands that may be sitting there. You focus in on the one thing that you like because you like it, and your mom taught you how to use it and love it. And you may have a little variation, but it's just the same thing you time and time again because you are brand loyal. Take care.